Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here today. We're going to be talking about Legislative Day 2019, going over an overview of the day. We are going to be recording this and sending this out to everyone across the state. So if you can't be with us live, that's totally fine. If you do have any questions, you can Slack us on the general channel or chat us. We'll be monitoring both of those. So just to keep in mind, keep your phone and computer on mute unless you're speaking. Oh, yeah, we do have a webinar chat line that you can respond to on Slack. You can message me or email me if any of your questions go unanswered or unaddressed. And if you have any feedback, especially if you've been to the day before, your feedback is welcomed with any advice. So just to keep in mind our mission and vision. Our vision is every young adult is educated, employed, and career bound. Our mission is to equip young adults with the skills to overcome barriers to win in education, employment, and as citizens. The main overview of the day. So each program will be bringing a specialist and 3 to 4 student leaders, depending on your program. We will be scheduling meetings with representatives and senators from across the state in your local area. And this is on Thursday, February 28th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Our main holding room will be the Mackinac Room at the Anderson House Building in Lansing, Michigan. We'll go later with some maps and everything like that.
One additional note on how to find the Mackinac Room. When you get off the elevators, there will be committee rooms surrounding the actual elevators. You'll have to go down a hallway and turn to the right. So if you get off on the floor and it looks like you're not in the right place, odds are you are. You'll just have to wander a little bit to find it.
We'll have some signs up or something too, or people out guiding you guys as well. So the big why of the day is to provide the opportunity for civic engagement and access to state leaders for our youth and specialists. And then it's also to educate legislators on the success of the JMG program and the positive impact it makes in our local communities. So this is the tentative schedule for the day. Arrival will be 9 a.m. and same with breakfast. At 9:30, we'll have a welcome and take a group picture with everybody in the room before they head off to meetings. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., it will be staggered, but you'll have about a half an hour meeting with your senator. Then lunch approximately is at noon, 1 to 2:30. You'll have another meeting with your representative. And you'll have dismissal at 2:30.
It should be on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, the programming will be a scavenger hunt around the city of Lansing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Each program will get an individualized schedule, which I'll be sending out next week for you guys to review. Again, every program will be on a little bit different schedule for the day, and it depends on the meetings that are scheduled with your senators and your representatives. So student preparation. Talking points. Students should be prepared to share their experiences and success in JMG. Also, have them come prepared to discuss concerns they would like to bring to their attention that is happening in their communities. For the legislators, students should know the names of their representatives and senators before the meetings. Please take time to have the students read the bios, which will be provided to you next week, discuss the legislative process, and ask questions. Yeah, we also have Al in the room. Would you have any comments that you would like to make from the legislator point of view?
Yeah, so this is really a good opportunity to connect with these folks, and you need to keep in mind that a lot of them are new and may not be as familiar with what you do as some folks that have been there for a while. And I always looked at this as a legislator. you're in meet and greet season. So lots of folks are coming in for 15, 20-minute meetings, and I'm trying to make connections with all these different groups, whether it's the Kidney Foundation or the Chamber of Commerce or whoever it is. But what you have to keep in mind is, from a legislator's point of view, no one is more important than someone from their district, because you are folks that actually vote for them. So they look at people from their district differently than they would from any kind of lobbying group or anybody else trying to advocate for my vote. So it's really important that kids are dialed in on, here's the success I'm having, here's the barriers I've overcome, here's the great things that are happening because of JMG or because of the relationship I have with my specialist and the mentoring and everything that's happening that is helping me turn my life around. That will have such a huge impact on your legislator. More so than what any data you can provide them or anything else. It's those stories of the students, the impact that your program is having on them. That's something that's happening in my district. I care a lot about my district more than I care about some other group that's going to follow you in the next 15 minutes, and my eyes are going to glaze over. So make sure that kids are ready to tell good stories. You can share the data and the how you do it, you being the specialist, and that will make a real impact on these legislators, even the ones that have been there for a couple of terms. Those stories will impact them more than you think. And a lot of times you'll find out that legislators will come from the same background as some of these kids. So for me, it was always important to hear from students, because I was a kid who grew up in a single parent household. And when I heard that, I would immediately connect with those type of kids. And I would be very interested in their stories and would ask questions because I had lived through the same thing. And I had mentors and people that would coach me up that were, I didn't have a male role model at home, but I had teachers and coaches and I had other adults who cared about me, which made a tremendous difference in my life, because I could have went the other way. I was probably one of those kids that was, didn't mind getting in a little bit of trouble now and then, and was a late bloomer academically. So I connect with a lot of those kids in the situations that they were in. And eventually I got elected, so, yeah, sort of.
Thank you, Al. And we will go through a little bit more of that later in the presentation as well. So new this year, you guys have been provided a project lesson plan to prepare your students for Legislative Day. That was sent out and covered in the O&I last week. Right here, what we really want to cover is some of the competencies that your students will practice the day of and how to determine if they're at a level 1, 2, or 3. So while this is just a short list, there's a much larger list of competencies that they could accomplish on the day of. Joe has provided us with a list of kind of how each specialist can understand where each use is at. So a level 1 of demonstrating appropriate appearance is to tell them exactly. So you're introducing it. A level 2 would be them wearing their JMG shirt to the day of. A level 3 would be going above and beyond and what is expected, which is wearing dress pants or dress jeans with presentable shoes and wearing the JMG shirt. We'll go into the exact attire later on in the presentation, but this is just to let you understand a level 1 is introducing, a level 2 is practicing it, and a level 3 is really owning it. So on that note, professionalism, please discuss the expectations with students regarding professional language, behavior, and cell phone usage during the meetings. It is important.
Hey, it's John.
It is important for them to be professional throughout the day we have heard good feedback of youth who've gone in the past that they really do take this day seriously and are professional. We just want to make sure that you are prepping your students ahead of time. Cell phone usage during meetings is not acceptable. However, the rest of the day we will be encouraging you to take pictures and be active on social. So there's other times throughout the day when you're not in your meetings that we will encourage students and specialists to have their phone out. Just make sure you're being professional and respectful of the time that your legislator's giving you. Logistics, arrival. It's crucial that you arrive with plenty of time to find parking and enter the Anderson House building. It is highly encouraged that you arrive by 8:30 to find parking and get through security. You will have to go through security in the Anderson House building upon arrival. So there will take additional time in the morning because of everybody arriving at the same time. So please be cautious of that. Parking, the best parking lot for you guys to park in would be the Radisson Hotel parking lot. I've made a small map here, but I will be sending out a larger map for you to view with your packet next week. So just keep in mind that it will take some time for you to find parking. It is a busy weekday in Lansing, so please account for that. IDs. Each person attending will need a form of identification to get into the Anderson House building and the Binsfield office building. Please make sure that your youth have those IDs with them when they show up for you guys to bring them the day of. It's very important to have that to make the process of security to go quicker. Breakfast and lunch will provide a light breakfast, bagels, pastries, coffee, and a hot lunch. Attire. So please ensure all students wear dress pants or appropriate jeans and change into legislative t-shirts upon arrival. You'll be given that upon arrival for the day and registering, and it's important to encourage the students to change immediately. That way you can keep control of them before they run off and have breakfast and start mingling with the other students. Presentable yet comfortable shoes are encouraged as they will be doing quite a bit of walking. I've heard in the past some of the ladies like to wear heels. While I understand that's professional, it may be difficult for you to walk around throughout the day, so I just encourage you to wear presentable, professional shoes, but comfortable for walking around. Shirts. Keep in mind that we only ordered a few extra sizes of each, so if one of your students who is not pre-registered attends, we may or may not have her or his size, so please be flexible on that. But thank you to everybody who sent in the t-shirt sizes. So this is kind of where what Al was talking about earlier. We did film a video for you guys to review, and also we highly encourage that you're showing this to your youth. We won't be presenting this in the meeting because the audio quality is not what we'd like it to be. However, if you click on this link, I'll also send this link out to you. It's very important that you guys watch this. Al gives a great debriefing on how important the day is and how important it is to have your youth prepared going into the day. And then we also do a role play meeting of what it's like to meet with your legislator, appropriate actions to take, and some of the conversations that may happen during those meetings. So it's really good, especially if you're a new specialist, you don't know what to say to your youth going into the day. I know I've had some people reach out. This would be a very important video for you guys to watch. So the time that will be filled in when you're not in your meetings and you're not at lunch and you're not doing the main things of the day will be a scavenger hunt around the city of Lansing. It will be walkable from the area that we'll be, so no need to get back in the car and drive anywhere. The actual information of that will be given the day of, so no sneak peeks, but it's encouraged that you guys are using social media. We know a lot of our youth, especially, are very active on social media, using the hashtag Legislative Day 2019 and hashtag JMG. And we wanted to reward people that are participating during the day. So every team who completes a scavenger hunt by 2:30 p.m. will be entered in to win the following prizes. The first place team will get a $25 Amazon gift card per team member registered, and so on from there, as you can see. we will not be handing them out the day of, because we'll probably need to calculate who, actually accomplished everything that they needed to the day, but we'll be sending that out or delivering it by person. And then, like we said, the prizes for each team member will be based off the registered amount. Get excited. This is going to be something where it's like, take a picture with your legislator after the meeting's over, or take a picture in front of the Capitol doing something silly or something like that. Maybe not silly, but, fun for our youth. So I wanted to pause for a moment and see if anybody had any questions or experiences. I know we only have a couple people on the call, but does anybody have, Karen or Shamika, do you guys have anything to add here? If you want to unmute yourself, you can at this time. No? Okay, well, we will move on. So after legislative day is over, just some important tasks to do. We want you to debrief with your youth, and I think Kristen wanted to add a note on that specifically.
Yeah, first to the point of writing thank you notes, we will have some incorporation of thank you notes into the day itself, but I would encourage all of you to please also look for opportunities for follow-up thank you notes. Al and I were actually just in Lansing on Tuesday meeting with legislators, and we came into an office to find students from the Muskegon area who had written a thank you note, and it was from over a year ago, and it was still hanging up in the office. And the legislator remembered the students from attending on that day, and it made our job so much easier because he was able to attach his memory of meeting with the students to what Al and I were saying as updated information. So that's one thing that I would encourage each of you to do. Also, to the point of debriefing with the students, back to the level and competency attainment conversation. If your students did not achieve a level 3 at this day on any of the competencies that we attached to the event, I would encourage you to sit down with them and review why they did not meet the expectations, really contextualizing it in the workplace. So a good example is in years past, we've had some students who come to the event and are unwilling to change from their nice professional outfit into the t-shirt. While we understand and appreciate that they took a lot of time probably to find an outfit that they really liked for the day, the expectation for the day is that the students wear a t-shirt. And if you think about that relative to the workplace, it really doesn't matter what you want to wear on the job. It matters whatever the expectation is that your employer has set for your specific role. So to the extent possible, we want them to understand that even though you may have tried really hard for the day to look your very best, there were still different expectations. And so that's why you didn't meet those expectations. And so we think that this can be a great learning opportunity for our kids so that they can practice, make mistakes in a safe setting, and then not make those same mistakes when they get to the job site.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that, you want to log the model services in your ENDMS just to make sure that you're following up on the competencies for that day. And then, like Kristen mentioned, you want to write thank you notes. We'll be sending out a press release and a news article, and I'm actually going to have Molly Waller talk a little bit to that so you guys understand some of the PR and marketing for the day.
Thanks, Danielle. Hi, everybody. Couple quick things. For the press release, what we're going to be focused on is sending a release after the actual legislative day event. And it's going to have photos and, sound bites, to help bring the experience to life. This will be customizable for your individual regions, where you will be able to drop in your own photos and sound bites. Sound bites if you're doing it via an electronic medium. Written quotes if you're sending it via a press release. In addition to that, we have the real-time social media leveraging throughout the day. Twitter will be our primary channel. The youth We'll probably mostly be using Instagram, and we're activating Snapchat for that particular day. We do have someone from the JMG statewide team, Amanda Dimmer, who will be leading all of our social media coordination. And she's going to be checking the social media content Slack channel throughout the day to extend and share the posts that the students and the specialists are doing with the variety of meetings that they're attending. We will create a post-event photo album that will be shared on Facebook. The news release will be posted on our LinkedIn page as well as our websites. And of course, we encourage you guys and the youth to take photos and videos during the meetings. We'll have the location for where to post them. We will have the different hashtags that we want you to use. And of course, when you're doing these posts, we want to make sure that you tag the representatives and senators that you are speaking with, because the more we can tag them, that's more attention for them. So more to come on that with follow-up materials that Danielle's sending, but that's the PR plan for now.
Thank you, Molly. And yeah, just to share the outcomes with the statewide team. So we will be sending out a survey. And believe me, we're definitely looking at the surveys that we sent in the past. I was actually just reviewing the CDC surveys for the upcoming event in March. So we'll send that out to you guys. We'd love to hear your feedback, what went well during the day, what didn't go well. If we've had experiences in the past of a youth that brought up a transportation issue in their area, and because of this day, they actually were able to find solutions for that. So if you have any success stories that come from some of the problems or the issues that your youth are going to bring up to your legislators, please let us know about that. We'd love to share that with the statewide team too. Yeah, and on that note, I thank you guys for following along on this. We really wanted to make sure that we were preparing you for Legislative Day, especially with our new specialists who have never been able to attend the day before. We encourage you to review this again before the day of, as well as we encourage you to show this to your students who will be attending. One of the big things is we want to make sure these youth are prepared, and we're completely fine with you guys showing them this for the day to make sure that they are prepared. Again, it's very important that you guys go back and watch that video that I'll be sending out as well with Al and Kristen, really to emphasize the importance of this day and what it does not only for our youth, but also for our programs statewide to continue to keep doing what we're doing with the funding from the legislators. So I thank you guys for taking time out of your day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email or Slack. I'm happy to answer anything that was not covered. But again, I will be sending out your individualized schedules, the bios on the representatives, all of that next week so that you guys have that prepared. Thank you for joining today. We're going to go ahead and end the webinar, but we'll speak with you soon.